can all hear me, there should be a little hand that you can raise. Could you all just raise your hand so I know that you can all hear me? Brilliant, fantastic. So there's just one more. And can you all put your hands down again for me? Brilliant, thank you. So if you do have any questions as I'm covering this webinar, please either raise your hand and I can speak to you, or if you would rather type in a question, you can type the question into the question box and then I can answer it from there. So like I say, thank you for coming on this webinar this afternoon. It's going to take you through how to import sort of CSV charges into CentreCharge. Okay, so it should take about hopefully about 45 minutes just to run through this with you. So what we're going to do, the first thing that we need to check in order to be able to import any charges, any CSV charges, whether it's telephone calls, postage, anything like that, you must make sure that your accounts have an account code, as it were, so like a reference number, which will either link to your call logger or your photocopier, or just an account code so that you can then import charges into CentreCharge. So to check that, what you need to do is you need to go into your accounts. So click on Accounts, double-click and open any account, and then you'll see here that you've got an account code tab down the bottom here. So if you click on that, then you can see here you've got an account code of DDDD here, and then the account code type is what we call for a standard import. So if it's just going to be sort of like an import that you're going to personally create in a CSV file, then it's a standard import. Or if it's coming from a call logger such as Elephant or anything like that, then what you can do is that you can select a different account code type from here to match whatever your call logger is or your photocopier or anything like that. So as you can see, we've got various different call loggers in here. So you just need to make sure that the account code type matches the import that you're actually going to carry out for that client. Okay, so before you import any charges into CentreCharge, please, please, please make sure that you have the correct account code and the correct account code type. If you do not have an account code or the incorrect account code type, then the import will be unable, the system will be unable to allocate those charges against that account. Okay, does anybody have any questions on that so far? No? Okay, good. So once we've been through, just made sure that we've got all of our account codes set up against our account, what we can do then is we can then go and actually carry out the import itself. Okay, what I've done for the purpose of this is I've created a couple of standard import files just to show you one scenario where everything is imported successfully, so all the charges have been posted, and then one with a couple of errors in, so we can work through how you would go about correcting those errors. Okay, so to import, I'm just going to close that down actually. So to import the call charges or any sort of charges, what you need to do is you need to go to File, Import, and then Call Logger and Other Device Import. So we select that, and you can see here you'll have a history of any other imports that have happened into your system. What you can see here is you've got an Import File button, which is what you need to click on next. And this will bring up this little box here. So what you would need to do is you'd need to make sure that the import type is correct. So whatever you're importing, whether it be for your Elephant call logger, your call master, anything like that, you need to make sure that that import type is correct. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to choose a standard import because that's what I've set up. You need to select the site where you want the charges to go to. In this case, I know is the Grand Tower. And then the product, I'm going to put down as telephone call charges, for example. And then the item I'm going to select is call charges. Then you've got two date reference boxes here, the date or the /batch date, and then the reference date. Now, the batch date is obviously the date that the batch sheet is going to have. So when the charges have been imported into CentreCharge, it will create a batch sheet for you. So this will have a batch date on it. So you can select this date as to what you want the batch date to be, whether it's November, December, whatever date you want. And then you can also select a separate date for the reference. So the reference date could be for December, but the batch date is for January. So you can have two separate dates in there, but the reference date is the date that will appear on the invoice. Okay, so the batch date is the date of the batch within CentreCharge, and the reference date is the date which will appear on the invoice for you. Okay, so again, you can amend those if you want to. The reference, so December calls or December postage, any reference that you want to put in there that you can pop in. Okay, so I've got December calls in here already. And then what you'll need to do is you'll need to then find the file that you want to import. Okay, so if you click on OK here, then what this will do is this will load your sort of local PC or the drives to get to your local PC if you're accessing CentreCharge on demand. Now you can see here I've got a standard import file, two standard import files, sorry. I'm going to select this one. So I'm going to click on that and hit open. And it will say converting, and then you can see here that the bottom here I've got a date of an import carried out on, well, today's date, and it has a status of imported successfully. So that basically means that all of my charges have now gone into CentreCharge. They've now created a batch sheet for me, and so therefore when you come to do your bill run, those charges are ready to pick up. Okay, so if we just want to view the file, want to make sure that everything is okay, although it says it, we may want to check. So if we just highlight the file, then click View over here. Oh, sorry, I have a hand raised. Lucy, I think you've raised your hand, but I can't actually. You're not on the phone, so you need to actually get on the phone. I think you're on speakers or something. You need to be on the phone to actually speak to me. Can you type the question in for me in the question box? Is that possible? Yeah, Lucy, you can't respond because it's on like a webinar, so you have to either type a question. If you've got any questions, you need to either type the question in the question box, or if you raise your hand if you have a question, you need to be on the phone so that I can, what we call, unmute you, and then you can ask me the question. So if you do have a question, please either dial into the conference now, or you can just type the question in the question box for me. So if you have a question, do you want to type it in the box for me? Okay, I'm just having a look at your question, Lucy. For some reason, you don't have an option. You may not have the option to import a file due to a user access level. One second, I'm just. Yeah, so you don't actually have. It sounds like, just reading your question, it sounds like you don't actually have the ability to import. So what you need to do is you need to speak to your system administrator and ask them to give you access to see the file and then import. So you just need to speak to your system administrator to get them to give you that permission. Okay? If you just try logging out and logging back and just making sure that you do have that access level, and then if you still have any problems, then you can just come back to us and we can help you for that. Was that all your questions, Lucy? If that's all your questions, can you just pop your hand down for me? Thank you. Brilliant. Okay. Right. So right. Okay. Where were we? Just right. Okay. So what you want to do, if you want to check that you actually, check the import just to make sure that everything is correct, you highlight that and then you click on View, which will bring up this screen. So you can see here that we've got all of our clients, our quantities, our prices, and you can see exactly what has been imported. Okay. So if you want to scroll down just to make sure, just to double check, then you can do that. And then also if you click on batch sheets, you can see here now that you now have a batch sheet for telephone call charges, which is an exact duplicate of the import that we've just carried out. Okay, so you can see that the date we selected is the batch date is the 20th of December. The date on the charge is the 20th of December. And then you've got the item and the reference. Okay, so that's how you would then, obviously, and then it's exactly the same as you would do a normal batch sheet, making sure that the batch is completed and approved for billing. So that's how you'd import sort of a standard CSV. Obviously, if it's an elephant or callmaster or anything like that, you just make sure that you select the correct import type, and then you can just import that one as well. Any questions? No? Okay, brilliant. Okay, so what I can show you now is what corrections. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to import a file that has an error on, so we can go through how we would correct those. Okay. So again, I'm going to hit Import File. I'm going to choose my import type as a standard import, and then the site again I know is the Grand Tower. The product, I'm going to choose something different this time. What should we have? I'm going to choose postage this time. And then the item, I'm just going to have first class stamps. Okay, so I'm going to keep my batch date as the 20th, so today. I'm going to keep my reference date as today, but I'm going to change my reference to December postage instead of calls. And then I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to find my file, so I know it's that one. And then that's going to convert, and now it's come up with a message saying that some items in my import file cannot be matched, and please click to view which items haven't been matched. Okay, so if we click on OK to that message, what you can see here is that the last import that we've just done now says imported with errors. So if we highlight that one and click view, we'll then be able to see the errors. And if you go down here, you can see that some of my accounts don't actually have an account code on them. So you can see for this charge here, there is actually no account code within that. And then it's another one down here. So you can see that, again, that one does not have an account code. So anything that's got an error, generally, most of the time will probably be that there is no account code set up within their account, or possibly that the account code is incorrect by a character or something like that. But what you will need to do now is you'll need to obviously remove this errored import out of the system, and then obviously re-import it. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll just close this down here, and then if we hit delete import file, and we'll just say, are you sure you want to delete this? Well, yes, because it's incorrect, so we do want to remove this out of the system. So click on yes. And then another thing that we'll want to do is just go to batch sheets and remove our postage batch as well, because obviously we don't want to duplicate any charges when we re-import the file. So if we just delete that as well. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Close that window down. And then what we'll do now is that's basically corrected. So that's removed that import file with the errors on it. So that's gone out of the system. So they won't be charged for those charges that we've just tried to import. So once you've deleted the import and deleted the batch sheet, what you'll then need to do is then re-import it, as it were. So then again, the same process. If you go import file, and then we need to select the standard import. The site is obviously the Grand Tower again. Product, again was postage, so just select postage. My item is first class stamp. It's remembered that December postage is my reference and my dates are the same. So I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to find my correct file. So it's this one, isn't it? I just want to make sure it's not the same one. Yeah, so I'm going to open that one. And then obviously that's converted, and then that's going to go in successfully. Okay. So that is what you would do if you had errors within your batch, sorry, your import. Does anybody have any questions? No questions at all for me? No? Okay. But that was really what we were going to cover today on just importing CSV charges. So just to recap, before you all probably want to go and grab some lunch, what you need to do is you, for the first stage, you need to make sure is that all of your accounts have their account ID, their account code. So just to recap where we'd go to find that, if you go into accounts, find the account, open the account, and then you'll see an account codes tab down the bottom here. And you need to make sure that the account code, if you're going to be importing from your call logger or your photocopier, you need to make sure that the account code or the reference or the the unique ID or whatever it may be called matches what is in CentreCharge. Okay, so you do need to make sure that your account codes match across the systems, because if they don't, then CentreCharge will not be able to match the charges and put them against that account for you. Okay, so it's very important that the account code is correct and that they do actually have one entered. The account code type, obviously depending on what kind of import you're doing, if it's just going to be sort of like a standard import that you can send, that you're creating yourself for postage or something, then you can just set that as a standard import. If it's coming from your call logger or photocopier, then make sure that you've got the correct import file selected. Okay, so that's what you need to do before you think about importing anything into your system. Okay, then to actually carry out the import, if you go to File, then Import, then Call Logger and Other Device Import, and this is where you can import your charges into the system. Just remember that once you've imported them into CentreCharge, they do create a batch sheet. So once that batch sheet is created, in order for it to be picked up in the billing, it must be completed and approved so that it can be picked up within the bill run. Okay. If you if you don't have actually an example of a standard import file, so you're not too sure, if you want to create a postage one, for example, but you don't know how you're meant to lay that out, I can just show you one here. So what you'll need to do, if you want to create your own standard import, so if you want to just log your postage on a spreadsheet and then import it at the end of the month, then you can do that. What you'll need to make sure you do is that you put the account code, which matches one in the CentreCharge account code section, in the left-hand column here, and then the total charge that you're going to be charging your clients in this column here. Okay, that is the total, not the quantity or anything like that, just the total. Okay, and then no column headers, nothing like that, so it's literally just a list of account codes with the pricing against them. Then what you'll need to do is you'll need to save that not as an Excel, but a CSV file. Okay, so that needs to be saved as what we call a CSV file in order for it to be imported. And that is the standard import file. So if you want to create them yourself, that is how you would do it for your charges. Obviously, various different call loggers have various different import files, but that's fine. CentreCharge is integrated with most of them anyway. So as long as the account codes are correct, you'll have no problem importing those. But if you'd like me to send you through an example standard import, I can do that. Just let me know, and I can send that through to you. So that was really it for today. Does anybody have any questions before we finish? No? Okay. And just to let you know, this webinar has been recorded and videoed, and we will upload this onto YouTube so that you or any of your colleagues can view it at any time. So if you just search for CentreCharge or Call Logger or something like CentreCharge or Call Logger within YouTube, this video will be available to you by the end of the day. If you want some training documentation on importing the CSV file, then we do have that as well. Then please, if you need that, you can email support@rjmetis.com. And if you'd like an example standard import file, then also if you send an email to support@rjmetis.com, then we can send that through to you. So I hope that you found this webinar helpful, and thank you for taking the time to join it. And if you have any questions after today or later today, please just send us an email and we'll be able to answer those for you. Okay, if I don't speak to any of you before, have a lovely Christmas and a great New Year. Thank you. Bye.